Hello, welcome or welcome back. My name is Caitlin and I love to read. It's been a while, guys. Where have you been? Just kidding, I know it's me. I have been MIA for over a year now. What can I say? Life just got a little crazy. The day after I posted my last video, I took a pregnancy test and to my great surprise, it was positive. I mean, obviously I was surprised I was drinking a lot of wine in my last video. Whoops. But don't worry, the baby is perfectly fine. Actually, he's more than fine. He is the sweetest, cutest little baby in the world. We are so lucky. My husband and I are just completely over the moon. He is so smiley. He's so easygoing. He is 5 months old now. So yeah, it's been a freaking dream. I'm a mom. I'm officially back at work, and so reading has been looking a little differently for me now than it has pre-baby. I'm mostly doing free audiobooks on Libby. If you don't have that app, you should. It's just through your library. I'm also getting things on Audible, and I am still reading physical books here and there, but it's been a lot harder too. I listen on my walks with the baby, around the park, at the gym, on my commute, and it's just been a really great way for me to still keep up with the books that I was reading before. It's just so hard at home because my hands are full now, obviously, but it's still been nice to have a physical copy over here and there. So yeah, I feel like I'm finally getting the hang of motherhood, and I'm listening to / reading a lot of books again, and I'm ready to get back on YouTube. I don't really know where I expect this channel to go. I think it's gonna be me mostly popping in with like a list of books I've recently read and ranking them like I have done in previous videos, like I'll do in this video. But I know you guys really love to see me rip into some shitty TikTok books and bad romances. It's been nice to read some good books, but I think I'm finally ready to do a deep dive into a book I'm not crazy about. So if you have any recommendations of books that you would like to watch me make a video and just rip apart, or you think would be funny for me to make a video on, please comment below. I'm making a list. But yeah, I'm alive, I'm well, I'm thriving, and I'm ready to get into it. So here's a list of books that I've recently read and what I thought about them. The first book I'm going to talk about is Listen for the Lie. Listen for the Lie was the first book I read postpartum because nothing really gets you out of a reading slump like a good mystery thriller. This book did a lot right. The chapters were short and engaging, the pacing was great, I flew through this book. I liked the way it was written, the characters I thought were believable as real people, and it was pretty lighthearted for a thriller book, which is fun because it's kind of a nice reprieve from the creeping dread you get with a lot of thrillers on the market. It was exactly what I needed to get back into the swing of things, but I did find that it was lacking in certain elements, so I wound up giving this book a 3 out of 5 stars, pretty middle of the road. This is about our female main character, Lucy, who allegedly killed her best friend Savannah, but nobody can prove it. She winds up moving back to her small Texas town after she pretty much gets doxxed and her job and her relationship crumble. When she's there, she gets approached by this podcaster who is making his whole new season about Savannah's murder, so he wants to feature her on the show. Lucy agrees to talk to him on the podcast and go over Savannah's murder, but things aren't that simple because she can't remember what happened that night. She was just found walking away from the scene of the crime covered in her friend's blood. I don't love amnesia as a plot device. I feel like it's kind of cheap, and I did think that in this book the ending was really predictable. The big reveal we could see from like a mile away. I don't know, it was good, I enjoyed it, but it is kind of forgettable. You know, it's a very low stakes book because it's about a cold case. Nobody was really in danger for 95% of it. If you want an easy, engaging mystery with a lot of small town drama, I would say this is worth the read. Okay, next up we have Phantasma. I really like Phantasma. I think this is a dark romance done right, and you guys know that I have very strong opinions about dark romances. This book is set in New Orleans. It's spooky, there's necromancy, there's ghosts, there's a Hunger Games style competition that kind of pays homage to Dante's Inferno. There's a creepy mansion, and there is a lot of smut. Maybe even too much smut. That's actually the reason I'm giving this 4 stars. I thought that it detracted from the plotline at times. But otherwise, it's a fun, fast-paced dark romance with a lot of mystery and a lot of action. And I surprisingly like the male love interest, which I can't say about 98% of the dark romances out there. The male leads in dark romances just tend to be awful, but luckily everything in this book is consensual. The competition is gory, it's fun. Our main character deals with OCD, which I thought was a really interesting part of the plot line. I just really liked it. The second book, Enchantra, is out currently. It's on my TBR, but I think I'm actually gonna reread this book before I go into the sequel. Okay, next up is Project Hail Mary. Project Hail Mary. Ooh, this book was an easy 5 stars for me. This is a science fiction book, which is heavy on the science. I don't know if it'll be everyone's cup of tea, but for me, I loved it because I'm a big frickin' nerd. Some fun facts about me: I have a biology degree and a minor in molecular biology, biochemistry, and bioinformatics. I have my master's in physician assistant studies. I'm a PA. I was actually the president of my chemistry club in my university. We got recognized by the American Chemistry Society for an uptick of membership that year. We had a lot of fun. So yeah, I'm geeky and I'm cheeky. And this book was right up my alley. It's funny because I don't usually read a lot of science fiction, but this book makes me want to, and it was narrated so well. So our main character wakes up in space next to 2 dead bodies. He has no idea who he is, what he's doing there, or what his mission is. I thought it was a little bit of a slow start, but once he starts to regain his memories, I was absolutely sucked in. I don't want to spoil anything because I went in blind and I feel like that's the way to do it. But I thought his mission was so interesting. I was so invested, and I love the little friendship that he makes with a secondary character during his journey. I think now would be the time to pick this up if it's been on your TBR for a long time, and I would absolutely recommend this in an audiobook format because they are making a movie about it. Ryan Gosling stars as the main character, and you better believe we're getting a sitter for the night, and my husband and I are going to the theater for the premiere. I can't wait. So I recently read Shield of Sparrows, and I have a lot of thoughts about this book. I'm going to rank this a 2.5, very neutral, smack dab in the middle. This book was so formulaic. I mean, I felt like it was a copy-paste of every single other romantasy out there. The Frankenstein's monster of romantasy, if you will. We have a heroine who's a princess, but she's not good at being a princess. She doesn't do normal princessy stuff. Nay, she does quirky princessy stuff like cliff jump and show up late to events that are important and ask 14 million trillion questions. She has special hair and eyes, and she has an insta-hate/love for a dark, moody, mysterious, handsome warrior from an enemy land who also has special eyes. There are monsters, there's a forced marriage, there's espionage, there's treaties, and there's a lot of magic. There's combat, there's love, there's loss, and there's sex scenes, but only once you've earned them. The pacing of this book was weird. I felt like truly nothing happened for the first, 60-70% of the book or so. They were just wandering from place to place, on a horse, on a boat, on another horse. It dragged. During most of it, I was really pushing myself to finish. I think the most annoying thing was the female main character asking so many questions as if it was just like a quirky personality trait of hers. I'm talking paragraphs on paragraphs of questions in a row. Tourette style. The author uses it as like a narrative crutch, and just how I felt about Fourth Wing, where that female main character recited important lore and like history when she was nervous. It's just awful. Such a dumb excuse for world building. Like, please have faith in your readers enough that they will ask questions of their own and think critically without having to literally plant questions in their head. And so many conversations were just question, answer, question, answer, question, answer. It was like an interview. I strongly disliked this book at first, but then towards the end we started to get a lot of big reveals, and they were coming quick. It was like twist after twist after twist, and I was sucked in. And when I finished the book, I was like, wait a minute, did I actually like that? I still am not really sure. But I do think that I'll read the second book, albeit reluctantly. I don't know. Did I like it? I don't know. The jury's out. Okay, next on the docket is Last One at the Wedding. Wow, I really hated this book. This is supposed to be a domestic thriller, but the plot, the suspense, the mystery, the characters, really none of it worked for me. The main character is just such a dickhead. I don't know if the author intended him to be as unlikable as he is, but oh man. I just feel like this whole book is propaganda for blue-collar, middle-aged white men who don't have good relationships with their children. He complains about everything, argues with everyone, gets in everyone's business, is such a busybody, and of course at the end, he's right about everything. He keeps trying to save his daughter from marrying a billionaire's son. Oh no. And she's very plainly like, hey dad, this is what I want. Drop it. He doesn't drop it. No. And at the end, he gets to say, I told you so, but at what cost? Honestly, every single character in this book was so unlikable, so annoying, and not a single person had any concept of boundaries. I could not wait for this book to end. I actually listened to it on like 2 times speed, which I never do. I just wanted it to be over. I just wanted to get to the end. And when we finally got to what I thought was the end, it just kept going. I guess if you like books really heavy on family drama, you might be more into it than I was. I haven't read his other book, Hidden Pictures, which I heard was much better. I don't know. I don't think I'll ever give anything another go by this author. I really did not like this book, so 1 star, baby. Next is the Shepherd King series. Okay, you could not tear me away from my Kindle once I found these books. I was sucked in, locked on, spellbound, totally obsessed. The first book is One Dark Window and the second book is Two Twisted Crowns, and they are both 5-star reads. The magic system for these books is so fun. It's basically based on the major arcana cards in the tarot. These prophecy cards are rare, they're coveted, and they give the user, or I guess wielder, a sort of magic power, each based on the respective card that the user has. There's a magic sickness that condemns the victim to death by villagers. There's a creepy mist, a deep dark wood, a slow burn romance, mystery, secrets, a nightmare that lives in our female main character's head and speaks to her. Talk about atmosphere, am I right, ladies? I thought the first book was strong, and whenever I love a first book, I always worry that the sequels are just not going to live up to the hype, but in this series, in this duology, it is done well. The sequel is just as good as the first one. This is a duology done well. I think that Rachel Gillig is an excellent writer. I love that she makes the secondary characters just as appealing as the main characters because it's a lot of fun to read about them. It's like a found family that you're really invested in. I just adore this world, these characters, this magic system. It's excellent, and on one hand, I'm so sad that it's just a duology because I want more and I would just eat it up. But at the same time, I'm glad that it is a duology because it's succinct, it's just a good concept, it's well-rounded, it's very well done. Okay, I'll reread it again. Next up is A Curse Carved in Bone. So I'll preface this by saying that I loved it as an audiobook. I thought the narrators were great. I loved Freya's voice. It was just a lot of fun to listen to the accents. Do I think it would be as much fun to read it? I'm not sure, but I do think if you're going to give this book a go and you liked audiobooks, I would listen to it as an audiobook. This is the second book in the Saga of the Unfated series, and I do think the first book was a lot stronger. A Fate Inked in Blood was the first book of the duology. That was a 4.5 in my opinion. I really liked it. This one fell a little bit short for me. It just had weird pacing. Like in the beginning of the book, we really just watched Freya get mad and take her anger out on the people around her. But for way too long, it stopped being enjoyable pretty quickly. I also just feel like the male main character wasn't as strong in this book. He just seemed kind of meek compared to how he was in the first book. It was a really kind of like weird whiplash, change of pace. So it really wasn't that much fun at first, but as the book progresses, as the pacing picks up and there's a lot of action and intrigue and she kind of softens in her resolve, it becomes a lot better, in my opinion. I think it redeems itself. I love the plot twist and the way that this duology ends. I just think that the Norse gods and the magic system and the characters were a lot of fun to read or listen about, and I really enjoyed it. I would rate this series highly overall, a 4 in my opinion, so even though this book was, I think, a lot weaker than the first one, I'm still gonna give it a 4, just give it the benefit of the doubt, because I like the way that it wrapped up. Aside from the rough start, I do feel like this was a very engaging book, and I really like this series. It's probably one of my favorite fantasy series that I've recently read. So if you like Norse mythology, war, strong female main characters, and a twisty plotline, lots of betrayals, pick this up. And like I said, I would recommend it in audiobook. Okay, now let's talk about All the Dangerous Things. So this is an interesting thriller with a dual timeline plot. One in the past that follows Isabel and the mysterious death surrounding her sister, and one in the present surrounding Isabel and the mysterious disappearance of her son, who just kind of vanishes in the middle of the night, never to be seen again. Every parent's worst nightmare, right? As a new mom, this plot caught my attention right away. I couldn't wait to get my hands on this book. I like the twists. I thought they were clever. I felt like I didn't see the ending coming, and I like being bamboozled, so I thought that was fun. But I will say it was a slow build for me with a lot of flowery writing. I personally like my thrillers a little faster paced, but I do feel like the writing style really adds to the atmosphere, to the dread, and makes you wonder what's going on. A couple of tropes to note. One, Isabel is an unreliable narrator. She has a really complicated relationship with sleep. Since the disappearance of her son, she has crazy insomnia. She pretty much never sleeps. And prior to that, she's got a long-standing history of sleepwalking. She also starts working with a podcaster, and I don't know if it's just the two thrillers that I've recently read, but I feel like true crime is really changing what we're reading. I feel like it's a really big theme, these true crime podcasts and thrillers that are coming out now in the last couple of years. I read A Flicker in the Dark by this author, and I like this book a lot more than A Flicker in the Dark. I didn't really like that book. I still felt like it dragged apart, so I will give this a 3.5 stars out of 5, but I do think it's the stronger of her two novels. You know, I'm just really itching for a great, fabulous mystery thriller, so if you've read any 5-star mystery thrillers in the last, I don't know, year or so, please let me know what they are in the comments, because I just need a fix. Next is Scythe and Sparrow. This book was so disappointing to me. I'm giving it 2 stars. This is the final book in the Ruinous Love trilogy, and I honestly wish that I had stopped after the first one, Butcher and Blackbird, which I liked that book, but it just went way downhill from there. In this book, we have Rose, a wannabe serial killer vigilante who is so unbelievably bad at it. I mean, so bad at it. I'm talking monumental fuck up after monumental fuck up, and she just can't stomach the gore. So she has the good doctor, Fionn Kane, clean up all her messes. And he's just fine with it. I mean, I could not suspend my disbelief with how down he was to participate in Rose's murder schemes after literally just meeting her. And inviting her, a stranger, to just live at his house after she shows up in clinic one day. I mean, this is a smart man, y'all. He went to medical school. This whole book, this whole thing, I mean, it's just so silly. And I like a little camp every now and again if it's entertaining, but this book also has the problem of being so boring. Even the smut was boring. I found myself skipping over like entire pages. So yeah, not my favorite. And don't even get me started on the second epilogue. Like, who's that bitch that they're talking about? I don't remember her, do you? I'm still giving it 2 stars though. 1 for the little tidbits about old characters that I love, and 2 for a drug-addicted raccoon named Barbara, who makes a little cameo in this. So cute. Okay, and for our last book, let's talk about Rebel Witch. So this is the second book in the Crimson Moth duology. The first one is The Heartless Hunter, and I gave this book 5 stars. These books were so fun. They were fast-paced, they were high-stakes, lovable characters, and a true and blue actual enemies to lovers romance. Pet peeve of mine, I hate when things are marketed as an enemies to lovers romance, and it's two people who, like, kind of dislike each other or have like an insta-hate for like no good reason, and then they bicker the whole time, and then all of a sudden they're in love. They're so fast, super fast in love. I hate it. It's just like, ugh, give me a break. This book does enemies to lovers right. It's a witch vigilante and a witch hunter, and it is perfection. It had me kicking my feet and giggling like a little schoolgirl. Was it predictable? Yes. Do I care? Hell no, because it was so much fun. I was sucked in from the get-go, and from the beginning of the series to the end, it's just fast-paced. It's easy to like want to follow along and not put the book down. Even when I can see exactly where the plot was going, I just wanted to keep reading it. This is technically a fantasy series with a lot of political strife and a magic system, but at its core, it's a romance. So if you're looking for like a well fleshed out high fantasy series, you're probably not gonna like this book as much as I did. But if you just want like a fast paced romance and like a fun world, check it out. I thought the second book was even better than the first book, which I love in a sequel. I really feel like that's the testament of a good duology. Fast pacing, solid conclusions, like you're getting what you want out of the end of it. You don't have a lot of hanging questions left over. I'm really looking forward to what else this author puts out. So yeah, those are some books I've recently read and my thoughts about them. If you're still watching, thank you guys so much. It feels really good to be back. I'm really excited about getting back on here and making this video, editing this video, and replying to your comments. And again, please drop some books in the comments, things you either really love or really hate, because I'm trying to make another shit talk video. So let me know what you think. Thank you so much. I hope you had fun watching this video. I had fun making it, and I will see you guys soon.